got the end of year event today. They were just making our way to Pret to get coffee, and then we're gonna meet up with some other team members and then meet everybody. I think there's like 110 people coming today, so loads of people. So 5 days ago we were in heat. Now we're back to good old England. It is freezing cold right now, but luckily I'm wrapped up. No more Dave's hot chicken for these guys. Alright guys, so I just got back from the meetup. As you can probably tell by my face, it was a very tiring trip. It was very worth it. So many new faces in this meetup, it was insane. We had Dubai literally last week, as you've probably seen from our previous video. And coming from having met 18 to 20 students to now 110, it was a crazy difference. I'd say 80% of the faces there were new, and 20% were recurring students. Obviously a lot of people couldn't make it because of flying into the UK, etc. But we had a very... Oh. So I got this tea. It's proper Blue Lotus tea, as you can see, and there's nothing in it except Blue Lotus itself. Now I've never even heard of Blue Lotus before this, but if you have a look at it over here, let me show you what it's like. So look at that. I had this last night, which I shouldn't have, to be honest, because I was up at 5 AM today. I went to bed at like 11. And this knocked me out.
Webinar, which is, you know, these type of setups where you're at a daily high and you have a premature evening start. So when that high test is like finished, you know, the next candle very rarely goes into any drawdown.
No, that's true actually.
Like almost, I know it's not really a setup, but it's like a niche within a setup. But it almost doesn't even go into like 10% drawdown.
Yeah, that's true.
If they're good, if they're...
Oh, brilliant. I've got to be a little bit quiet because I'm in the lobby area. So I want to start from number 12 at the top. Yeah, well there you go. And the funny thing is, did you actually notice this after the trade took you out? Breaking the low doesn't mean much if we're still developing, right? So I could say we could drop off really heavy and a trade's down here and it's formed a tight hover. I find architecture pretty interesting. Look at the accuracy and how precise all of the architecture here is. And then people say that we just came from horses and tools. Highly doubt it. Let me take this hat off, I look like a muppet.
Déjà le 2 sur 3.
Pourquoi tu penses ça?
Elle appartenait à ma mère. J'en sais rien. J'ai jamais vraiment cru. Je veux dire, j'ai jamais vraiment cru à un monde meilleur que celui-ci. Enfin, qu'est-ce qui peut être meilleur? Ça? Ou pas? Ou toi?
One thing that intrigues me about a place like this is it makes you realise how much effort was put into every little detail. Now if you look at buildings today, they're very just square, boring. And I do believe it plays a psychological role as well. Can't remember who it was, but he talked about like a lot of buildings were actually deliberately designed this way to keep people in a boxed and a closed mindset. If you look at like 300 years ago, 400 years ago, all of the buildings were very detailed and abstract. And no wonder a lot of the most creative people actually were born in those times. I've just woke up, literally not even joking. So I've got this terrible little, let me just point it down, makeshift, what the fuck, I had to make this myself, using that little rack over there that you can see. I've got to do anything. Everybody's ordering the hot chocolate, why?
Yeah, totally chocolate croissant and plain chocolate 2000.
Wow, you must get sick of it.
Every day sold out.
We found a Joe and the Juice in the middle of Paris. Really nice view, as you can see there. So the date today is 15th of December, which means we've approximately got just over 2 weeks till the end of this year.
Excuse me, can I get more ice?
Anyway, this question always dawns on me at this time of the year,
I just can't move my
how
stuff.
many of you are going to be in the same spot this time next year? Most of you watching will be. There'll be a small majority of you that won't be. Because if you're somebody who is watching this video, you're likely somebody who wants something different out of life. You're likely somebody that is setting goals and these kind of things, but there's a category within that as well. Within the 1%, there's also that extra 1%, or that fraction of 1% that sets their goals properly, invests their money correctly into education and listens to the right people, has a good attention, these kind of things, you know. there's so many of these small niche separation factors that are really going to determine whether you end up this far up next year or just this far up. But yeah, anyway, this is not the time and place to be talking about next year. I'll get somewhere quieter later on, somewhere a bit more relaxed, and I want to go into this topic a bit more because it applies to all of us.